everyone. How's everyone's days going? How beautiful is it where you are right now? Because I know like where Luisa is, it's just like roasty, toasty, gorgeous. And where I'm at, it's like, whew, it's really hot. So I hope you guys are all having amazing days like that. Anyways, we are Weez and Wilson, and we're here to spill the beans all about some amazing topics today. But before that, guys, we're constantly always trying to share information with everybody from any walk of life to really help you guys elevate your lives, not just in business, but your personal life, everything. We want to be able to affect as many people as possible and create as much global prosperity as we, really can manage. So if you guys see the value, be a hero today and share this video with somebody that they can take value out of it themselves, and like it. Let us know who's here. Comment below. Let us know any other topics you guys want to hear about, and let us know any questions you have throughout, and we will try our best to answer those for you guys, with you guys. So anyways, before I keep babbling on about this, Luisa, you want to tell them about what we are talking about today?
Yes, hi guys, I hope everyone's doing really well. Like Mark said, it's amazing here. Summer has started, and that means beach every single day for me. So I'm like super happy right now. So today we're going to be talking about owning your results. What exactly is owning your results? I'll just give you a little bit of an idea of what I think, like me owning my results. So I have decided to start my online journey a couple of years ago, and this year for me is all about growth and prosperity, and it's working really well for me. So I'm owning that, and the fact that I can actually go to the beach on a Tuesday when everybody's at work and it's nice and quiet, and just take my phone with me, some battery chargers, and actually work and make money is amazing. So that's me owning like my results, and me saying to myself, tap on the back, like, well done, I've done a fantastic job getting to where I am getting to. Now it could also work in reverse. So you could actually like do nothing and always blame other people for the lack of results, the lack of success, but you don't own it. You're always blaming, you're always putting the blame on somebody else. And that's really, really bad habit to get into, because you're never ever going to take responsibility for your failures. And everybody fails. I failed, Mark has failed, failure leads to success. But you have to take responsibility, and you have to understand where you went wrong and what you need to change. Don't you agree, Mark?
Oh, 100%. I'm glad you said both spectrums of it, like the positive of it, like owning those results and really patting yourself on the back, like whenever you have those victories, little, big, whatever it is, you're going to have a big goal, and you're going to have that, right? And to get to that big goal, it's not just going to be like you're here and then leap, guess what, you're here. There's going to be a lot of little victories along the way and little failures. And you have to be able to own each one, pat yourself on the back, or find out what's wrong and then switch along the way. So this is the positive and the negative. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't do. They find a little bit of success, or they start something and they don't really ever own it, right? So say you want to start your own, let's say food delivery business. Perfect. You start your own food delivery business. You're like, okay, well, this is going to be my side hustle for now, so I'm going to have other people run it because I can't put all my time into this because it's not profitable enough. Perfect. So you step out of the business at that point in time after you structured this whole food delivery business, and you've stepped out of it. And you're like, I need to pay Johnny to do this because I need to make more money for my life, and I'm fine with just taking kind of a residual cut. Now, you look back in 3 months, you're like, I'm not where I want to be. And what people will do is they'll blame Johnny, the guy that's running the business. They'll blame, the demographic where they're sitting in wherever city it is. They'll blame all these different avenues. But in the end of the day, you know whose fault this is? You know whose fault all those things are? It's yours, because maybe you didn't set the bar high enough for Johnny. Maybe you didn't, advertise properly. Maybe you didn't tell people what your real vision was. And that's all on you. And I know that's really tough to like hear or say, But in the end of the day, you're the one that gets up every morning. You're the one that can control that. You're the only one that can control your reality in the end of the day. And really, you're the one that tells yourself to stop. So if, it's 8 o'clock at night and you're not going to bed until 11 and you're not where you want to be and you stop at that point in time, is that your fault or is that the world's fault? It sounds pretty simple. It's your fault. You decided to stop at that moment. You're not where you want to be. You haven't got everything accomplished that you wanted to, but you said, I'm accepting this. This is something I'm going to accept, and you're not owning it. So everybody that started a business, they failed at it. You need to own that. You need to own that failure. You need to own whatever that is. And don't just own it, grow from it. Because, when you fail, you learn. You learn so much from that. And when you can own that, that's when that exponential growth happens. That's when you start hitting those new levels. That's when you really start going up. And something that I thought was very profound that Luisa was saying is what her kind of mindset going into this year was. She's like, I'm not where I want to be. I want to be bigger than that. And she didn't say, hey, this business that I'm in, this advertisement, all these other factors of her life, that's why she's failing. No. She said, hey, I'm taking control of this. I'm making a mantra and I'm marching forward every single day, owning my own results. And anytime that she slipped, she doesn't go and say hey, Mark, why aren't you helping me more? We're partners here. You're supposed to pick me up or anything like that. And I do pick her up. I constantly tell her she's amazing, beautiful, all these other things or whatever. But she owns that. She's like, what can I do better to fix these things? And that mindset will always make sure that Luisa is winning in life, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's funny that you said that because I have this theory, right? So, like you said, Johnny started a business and he is selling mobile phones. Sam starts a business and he's also selling mobile phones. You're selling the exact same phone. You have the exact same system that you work with, the same platform. You've got the same ad budget. You've got everything the same. Sam thrives, but was it John?
Johnny, yeah.
But John doesn't. Now, what issues are there? What do you think the issue is? The issue is that Sam went into this knowing that he was going to be successful. He's taken responsibility for it. He's decided that this is going to work for him. Johnny went into this thinking, I don't know if this is going to work. This probably won't work. I don't know if this is for me. I think this is bullshit. I think this is a scam. It's all about the mindset. They have the exact same system. They have the exact same products, the exact same ad budget. It's the mentality that is different, and it's taking responsibility. One person takes responsibility because he's doing extremely well. The other person is blaming it on everybody else because he's failing. So you have to decide that you want to, first of all, succeed. Second of all, take responsibility if you are not succeeding. And then thirdly, ask yourself, what am I doing that can better my success? So if you point fingers at everybody else, you're never, ever, ever going to be successful in your own business. It's impossible. Whereas if you take responsibility, you're just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And if selling phones for Sam works, selling phones for John should work as well. If it works for one person, it could work for absolutely everybody. So you've got people who are making millions and millions of dollars and people who are making nothing. The difference is the person who's making $1 million knows exactly what he wants, what he's doing. He's taking responsibility. He's made a decision that this is for him, this is going to work, he's going to kill it, he's going to blow up. The other person doesn't take responsibility and blames everybody else. See where the problem lies? It all lies here. It all lies in your mentality, and it all lies in your self-confidence as well. You're not confident at all that you can actually do well. So what's the best escape route? Let's blame the world for my failures because it's everybody else's problem. Right? It's crazy how your mentality can affect your whole life.
100%. And that's, I think, where it comes down to, when we were kids, we blamed our parents. You know what I mean? Oh, like I wasn't raised with enough money, or I didn't get all these opportunities that Jim Bob over here got. You know, poor me, poor that. It's my parents' fault. It's all these other things. It's society's fault. I didn't grow up in a town that was super wealthy and everything. And until you're ready to own those things, like, you'll never grow. You'll never hit the heights that you really want to. And like, it's crazy. I'll tell you a story that I just heard about Oprah Winfrey. Like, everyone knows what the O Network is, Oprah's network, right? And when she first launched this, she stepped out of it, out of the business, and she wasn't doing her own show on the business. She wasn't in control of exactly, picking the talent and all the shows that were on her network. She hired people that she thought that she trusted in, that were going to do this. And after 6 months, it wasn't even close to the results that she wanted. And she took a step back and was looking at it. It's like, why is this not working? I had this all set up. This is supposed to work. This is a good business plan. Everything should work. And then she finally figured it out. The one thing that was the de facto variable was she wasn't in it. So she stepped back into the business, and within the next 2 years, she had crushed every goal that she had set in front of her, is because she decided that, I need to own this. This is mine. My name, my stamp is on this. This is why it's going to go well. And you see this oftentimes with, as soon as like somebody, gets really, really big, and food companies are the easiest. They get really big and, they start mass producing their food. All of a sudden the quality goes down. People start talking poorly upon these people. Is because they've stepped out of their business and they can't control it anymore, or they've decided not to and just taken money. So they chose money over a great product. And in the end of the day, I think that is what anybody really wants out of, their business, out of life and everything. So in the end of the day, if you just own those things, you will be there, right? And we hear it constantly on a day-to-day basis. People will be like, yo, Mark, my advertisement's not going as good as I want it to be. Like, it just totally dropped. And I'll be like, oh, cool, man. Like, let's look at this. And I'll look at their like pages or whatnot. And I'll be like, hey, like, you haven't posted on your fan page. You haven't given any content to Facebook or like your community for a month. Who told you to stop? Oh, I just didn't want to do that. But why is my advertisement drop? How we teach people is you need to continuously give out content, put it out there, so you keep engagement up, and Facebook likes this, so they give you more reach. But people make these decisions, just accept them, and then they want to blame you for it. In the end of the day, like, I never told this person, I never told Jim Bob to stop posting on his fan page. He just decided that on his own. And then his results dropped, but instead of owning that, he wants to blame me. Instead of finding the solution, he wants to blame, the problem. And blaming problems is never going to, help. You're never going to progress, right? Luisa, like, how many times have you heard people do that, right?
Oh my God, so many times. And people love to point fingers as well. I'm like, do you know what? I'm placing the exact same ads as you are, but I'm getting results. And you're not. There is a problem. The problem is not me. The problem is not the system you're using. The problem is you. Again, as much as Mark said, it sucks and it's hard to hear that. That is the reality. The problem is you, because it's working for multiple people, so it should be working for you. So the reason is you need to actually look at what you are doing with a microscope. You need to look at every little thing you are doing, and there is a disconnect over there. Somewhere there is a little disconnect. So you've got this, and somewhere it's just open, basically. So you need to find out what that disconnect is and how you're going to fix it. That's a failure. You can turn that failure into a success in no time. But again, I really do strongly believe that you need to go into anything in life with a positive mindset, because your mindset controls your reality, right? So it's like waking up in the morning, you stub your toe on your bed, you're going to be like, oh fuck, you're going to be in a shitty mood for the rest of the day because you're just thinking about this morning is a total mess. I already stubbed my toe on the bed, and then something else is going to happen, and something else is going to happen. Whereas if you change your mindset and go, okay, I hurt my toe, but today's going to be an amazing day. It's amazing how quickly that is going to shift, right? And it happens with everything. So you could go into a business, something's not working, you can blame people, or you can take responsibility, change your mindset, and have it work for you. Like, so something really crazy, like, so I was speaking to Mark about this not long ago. I decided that I wasn't spending enough time in my own personal growth a few months ago. And I said, okay, I need to change this because I can feel a disconnect within myself. And it's affecting everything. It's affecting my business, affecting my life. It's affecting the way I eat, the way I sleep. So I dedicated about 5 to 6 hours every single day on self-development. So I would listen to one of my mentors, who is Bob Proctor. I would follow all his teachings. I would listen to him in my car. I would listen to him when I'm working. You know, every chance I would get when I'm cooking, I put my earphones, my pods in, and I'm listening to him. And within 3 days, everything just turned around for me. It's incredible. My mindset just shifted completely. And my whole business turned around. Like, I had spent like a week not making much money, and I was like, oh man, you know, this is crazy. And what I lost in that week, I tripled the week after. So I made like 3 times as much as I would normally make. And it's because I took responsibility. I realized that there was a disconnect. I didn't blame anyone but myself. And I took the steps to make it better. Took responsibility for my own actions. So
I love that. Like, you owned every part of that. Actually, I love that part you were saying about your basically your health issue that you're like, you're stubbing your toe. Right? And I was just listening to Tony Robbins just the other day, and what he was saying was he, over the last 2 years, he decided to build a 90 status. And this 90 status was all about like an issue, and in 90 seconds he was only letting it work or like affect him for. So he needed 90 seconds, and then he released it out. And he said over that last 2 years, he not only was diagnosed with some really, like, he had mercury poisoning, which almost killed him. And he also found out that he had a really bad spine issue. And if he got hit the wrong way, he would never be able to do any of his seminars, you know, his jumping, all that type of stuff. And then you guys have watched Tony Robbins. This guy is crazy on stage. Like, he is like the most amount of energy like I've ever seen out of a human being. And he just exudes into the world constantly. But he made that mental shift because he was just like, you know what, I have 1,300 employees around the world. What's the likelihood of every minute there being a problem? Higher than not. You know what I mean? There's just too many variables in his life. And if he focused on every one of those problems, would he be sick? Would he like hate his life? All that type of stuff. Or did he decide that every night, like, he was going to look at that problem for 90 seconds and then release it? And he said that just that shift, and this guy, he's a billionaire, and just making that one shift in his mind, he's like, for that next 2 years after he made that shift, and all that bad stuff happened health-wise, he should have been a sad man, but those were the best 2 years of his life because he made that shift and didn't want to focus on that. And he owned it. Like, he was owning everybody's problems within his business, and he was finding that solution to it. Like, to me, that's super, super profound. Being able to, you know, own not just your own, but it's his, like, stamp on it. Like, he said that there was this one business that he was running, and it was about to go bankrupt. And he's just like, you know what? It's not the people's fault that were running it. This is mine. And I can't let these people down by claiming bankruptcy. So I need to go in there and find the solution. So instead of just taking the easy out and, you know, declaring bankruptcy, all those people would be out of jobs and everything like that. He's like, no, I need to own this. My name's on this. This is my fault. And he went in there, and then he made the business profitable again because he knew he could control that. So instead of, you know, blaming other people for the results, for what's happening in his life, he owned it. And this is one of the most successful people in the world. And there's a reason for it, because he's mentally strong. He's always willing to own everything that's out there. Before we kind of end off here, and I'll let Luisa say the last words, I just want to say two things. Thanks for everybody for joining us. I'll just give some people some shouts out. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Sinbad. Hey, Andrew. Thank you guys all for joining us today. We really, really are grateful for that. And if there is any value, like I said, that you can see coming out of this, make sure that you guys share it with somebody. Like this, comment. If you guys watch the replay, hit comment, hit replay. Let us know everyone that's joined us, and if there is any questions that you guys got, and if there is something that you guys are struggling with right now that you just don't know how to either overcome or how to own, let us know. We're here to help you guys. But anyways, I'll let Luisa finish this little session off here.
I think you closed it perfectly, Mark. I don't think there's anything else I could add to that except just, be aware of what you're doing and be aware of your failures and your success, and take responsibility for both of those. And I promise you, it will change your life because you are moving in the right direction. So until next week, Mark.
Until next week, guys. We'll see you soon. Go and crush it. Own your results, guys. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.